Hey, Peg. Hey, Jason.
Hey,
Hey.
where's Madam Mayor?
Mm, mm, mm.
And you have no audio.
Don't say where I'm
Oh,
at. I was the first one on.
Don't be tardy for the party. Don't
where's
be
the Devon?
for the party.
Oh, yes, man.
You know, he like that grand,
Oh, okay. I forgot. I forgot.
Yeah,
grandiose.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm gonna give some folks a little bit of time while I kind of lead into the introduction to join in. Please make sure you share and like and do all that wonderful social media stuff that everyone does. Um, I'm waiting to make sure
Yep.
we're up there. We're about a minute up. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another rendition of Frontline News, bringing you frontline news and I guess conversation from urban America and beyond. Um, we have an interesting show for this evening, so I'm going to jump right into the introductions as quickly as I can because it's about to get heated up in this room. So, there's definitely going to be a battle of the sexes taking place this afternoon.
Why gotta be a battle?
There's gonna be definitely a heated conversation in reference to the battle of the sexes here on Frontline News. So let me jump right into the introductions. Former mayoral candidate for Baltimore City, future mayor for Baltimore City. We are claiming it in Jesus' name. In Jesus'
No, we won't.
name, we're claiming it. But future mayor of Baltimore City, we're claiming it. Yolanda Bullock.
Hello. um, yeah. I don't even know what to say after. I'm just gonna wait and hold all my stuff for the battle of the sexiest. The battle of the sexiest. Cause you know, Donna, we got this. Deja,
We got this.
we got this. 3 against 2. No win.
Listen, I don't need Jason to say a thing. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jason, where are you?
Where are you? Did
Oh,
we lose
sorry.
him?
There you go.
Mm.
It's like the Brady Bunch little tiles. Like, here's the story of a lucky lady. Like, but the tiles keep like jumping in and out. But okay, so now down to my bottom and off to the right is someone that I've really learned to appreciate. It's a sister. I'm an only child, but I really consider this woman to be truly my kindle spirit sister. Everyone, please welcome Donna Tebron Green.
But hey, first I'm gonna need you to fix your Wi-Fi because when you introducing me, I don't want no brokenness. Introduce me without the broken Wi-Fi. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much. Starting already. Got my gloves on, Yolanda.
So beneath me is someone that I truly have also learned to appreciate.
Why is she beneath you? Why is she beneath you?
This is gonna be a fun show. I see it.
Look, your Plymouth Rock didn't land on me, okay? So underneath me, underneath the tiles here, is another person that I really have learned to appreciate, who's also a member of People Empowered by the Struggle. Anytime we go out, I'm always surprised by the youth, the younger generation, and how much they are inspired to want to kind of be out there and serve their community, how they want to be a part of serving their community. Everyone, please welcome Pretty Deja. We'll go by your handle.
Crowd goes wild.
You ain't saying nothing, Deja?
Hi.
You not gonna say nothing?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, hey, Deja.
Hey.
Jay, you moving in slow motion today. What's going on?
Right.
What you paying attention to?
Jason.
No, I'm pulling up some information. I was thinking that Deja would take a little bit more time. But I mean,
she's a woman of few words, but
Very
her actions is a lot.
Mm-hmm. Jason.
Hey, Madonna, you know what he's
doing?
doing.
Wait. Oh, okay.
He's trying to do research real quick to try to set us up.
I'm not trying to get
He's about to introduce the Ron. He about to do something real.
I'm trying to get to the message so that I can get to. Oh, so no, I'm trying to get to the topic. So, and I know you said it was in the group text message. So
I just texted to you. I texted to your phone.
Okay. I'm trying to introduce the Ron.
Well, no, I'm about to introduce the Ron. You know, someone who is. See, he wants to put all this stuff in there, like he's an amazing chef, he's an amazing father, he's an amazing man of service. Like he wants to put all this, the greatest rapper of all time. That he is the GOAT. He is the GOAT.
Listen. I'm gonna just go ahead and show Mick. All right, Deidre, won't you say what the topic is?
Well, she the one came up with it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So today's topic is is strong black women, is strong black women a blessing or a curse? And the second half to our topic is the economic system and how it affects the lower class of blacks.
Right. The strong black woman, is it a blessing or a curse? And the downfall of black economics, how does it affect the lower class?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So I would say, if a strong black woman is a blessing or a curse, I said it depends. It absolutely depends because, like I've been telling you guys, like we come up with the philosophy that, our strong black mother, but I realized in growing that we had a broken strong black mother. So with a broken strong black mother, with her going through her struggles and us seeing that, I feel like it was a blessing, but also a curse. And I feel like that blessing and that curse it actually passed down on us.
Well, I have another. I'm ready to start some controversy because the black man was taken out the house. The woman was made to fill in the masculine role. That masculine role then made the man soft. And then the women became the leaders, became the head, and the men became the tails.
And what did the woman teach her children, though? She taught her children that you don't need no man. That's a problem.
Exactly.
I mean, we don't need a man, but like to take them out completely and feel like, oh, we could do this by ourselves. We don't need no partner. We don't need nobody because we got this. Like that could be a blessing and a curse.
But now we have men walking around in skirts. We have men walking around in skirts being women, and it's done on purpose. Now it's done on purpose because then now you don't have men that's fighting as men. You have men fighting as women.
So I have a different take of this. I say that it even goes more deeper historically than just the first 100 years out of Jim Crow. I'm talking about this goes deep. This goes back to even when we were enslaved and we lived on plantations. Many times it was shunned upon to have a male and a female build a regular household. You often had to get married in secretive manner. That's where the whole thing of jumping the broom comes in, the tradition of jumping the broom, because that was the way that the enslaved folks at the time actually consummated, kind of certified that this union was brought together. And so the household was always broken from the beginning. In other words, I'm saying men have never really had the opportunity in America, not the black man in America has never really had the opportunity to step in the role of leadership. It's always been the woman, the black woman that's always carried us. It was the black woman that nursed us when we got off the ships. If you understand the stories behind it, it was the black African queens that were enslaved that took care of the plantation. They cooked, they cleaned, they took care of the babies. They continued to produce babies and rear babies. And many times, nursing Master's baby at the same time too, giving them, milk from their breast. So this goes deeper than that. Like I said, this has always been for America. It's always been established as a feminine country, and it's always been worked against the black man to create a more what they call effeminate man, a more gentle man, a more docile man. If he's too strong, Master will break you. You know what I mean? It goes that deep, far back. You know what I mean? And that mentality still kind of reigns true today. The way many times it's not. We see more black women in America, women of color in America, taking care of the household, single parent households, and many times the men are nowhere to be found in reference to rearing their children is concerned. So you still see that same brokenness 500 years later out of enslavement, and that's why a lot of folks are saying at this time they wish that the women would step back a little bit and let us men sometimes lead our community.
Y'all did a fine job.
We did a fine job. It's
y'all did. Y'all did because unfortunately, like we became the bottom of the barrel. So you had the white man out there working, the white woman out there doing whatever she wanted to do, and depending on the black woman to take care of their house, take care of everything, while the black man was outside of the home working. And now you still choose the same pattern. The black man chooses to be out there working, while the black woman or women chooses maybe to go to either stay home or take care of home and work. And it becomes overbearing, because then you're dealing with working and taking care of home and taking care of the husband that only chooses to work, maybe.
And then we have the Department of Social Services that came in 1967 and thought it was a good idea to remove the black man from out of the
now
house.
Let me get to that part. That's where everything got Mr. Screwed. That's where everything got messed up. When the government came in and said, hey, we'll give you free services if you put this man out the house. So women chose one or the other. We're going to choose either to thug it out with this guy or to
choose the benefit. They're going to choose the benefit. So put your man out. Instead of the man going out there, like the man is supposed to take care of the household. Excuse me, I'm old fashioned. He's supposed to take care of the household. So therefore, if he's out there not making enough money, he's supposed to be out there trying to make enough money instead of me depending on the system. A system that don't want us together anyway.
I'm about to say, the system don't want us together, right?
So why go for him?
Now you put this man out of the house, right? And because, this man is working, now child support comes in and say, hey, listen, we can actually take money out of his check and give it to you. He don't have to be in the house.
They do that to females too.
It's another piece to that.
They do that to females too, though. If the child is with the father, they pay child support to the father.
But the father, how hard the father has to fight for custody?
Nope.
Yeah. The father is always considered to be the non-custodial, many times parent. And
I feel like the father walks away, and I feel like they give up. Like they go on that old terminology, like the courts. Like I done seen plenty of men walk away with their children, especially when dealing with child support. Because our own brother when his ex-wife was trying to get child support from him. That's how he got custody of his child, because he told the judge, "Well, she can't afford to take care of him. I can give me custody."
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's what you do.
But why is child support a criminal act? It should not be. That's civil. That's between parents. They should not have to make the decision on whether they want to take care of their child or go to jail. You don't benefit You don't benefit off
You don't
sending.
benefit by a whole bunch of men out here making a whole bunch of babies and nobody hold them responsible.
Well,
Nobody.
I'm
no, that's not
totally
it.
and I agree with you. But at the same time, we also have an influx of people that will trap somebody. Like man try to trap woman, women try to trap man. Like we
Mhm.
try to trap each other in order to gain some form
Birth
of benefit.
control. Birth control.
Yeah,
Well,
but
Donna, birth
if
control
we all
didn't
get
work
on
for
birth
us.
control, then we don't
These is our
populate.
decisions, though. Like, it's no need to make these decisions and then go around and complain about it. Like, we already know. We've been telling y'all all your life. Be careful who you have kids with. We've been telling you all your life. Because you want to go out there and make your decisions when you want to be grown, and then you get stuck with it. Like, you got choices. The same way we had choices, you got choices. You got to choose better. Like, we got to choose better. Like, we literally got to make more time with picking out significant others, with the fact that because we don't check into their health, we don't check into their background, we don't check into their family. Like, we just lay down with them, and then
we don't check their.
But again,
we don't check their credit report.
don't
again,
check
if,
nothing.
Because
And then when you get stuck with a baby daddy that got 10
if
kids,
all
then
you
or a baby mother with 10 baby daddies, then you complain. No, you should have known that from the beginning.
But here's the thing: if all you've ever known is unhealthy relationships, and again, this is ancestral. This goes back to again the broken family and the plantation, the father being sent and sold off to another plantation, the children being sold off and separated. Again,
Right,
we've
what they
never
did
had
was-
for over 400 plus some odd years. We've never really understood the foundation of a strong family household.
It's called
They-
deprogramming. That's what
Yeah,
it's called.
what they
We need to
did was-
deprogram
Right, but
ourselves with
how do
everything
we-
that we learned.
How do we
Wait.
deprogram?
Well, we're gonna do the one at a time talking. We're not gonna overtalk each other. But the thing is that
What you
the
got?
Department of Social Services came in, and then child support came in. They still found a way to screw the black man out of his children and his house. They made it where as though if a woman ever receives social services, then the child support has the right to take money from the father for the mother receiving social services.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's his responsibility. Why not?
No, Donna, it's
Why not?
The
Because
male-
at the end of the day, how many fathers do you know laid up while the woman went out there to work
no,
and didn't do nothing but want the
It's the
baby mother to
battle of the
sign up for social
sexes.
service and everything, and then
Excuse
take
me,
care of him
sir.
while he laid up?
Excuse
and
me,
guess what?
sir.
Guess what? And
You
guess
on the
why
wrong
that is?
goddamn side here.
Hold up though. And guess why that is though?
Trifling.
Because
Don't
what
don't
what
act
the
like
topic
you
is
do right
about.
now.
No,
Listen,
not
it's because of what the topic is about.
it's brokenness.
Being too strong, feeling like you have it, when not even realizing that we all need each other. I need you just as much as you need me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a strong black woman. Doesn't equate. It doesn't equate to certain strengths. We need each other. One hand washes the other with us. And if that don't take place, then here we are at odds, beefing and going at it, going back and forth. And now the kids see it. And now the kids see that that's love. The kids see mommy doing everything. Now mommy doing everything to try to prove that I don't need nobody. So
Mm-hmm.
now mommy lays up with a guy who don't want nothing.
Right.
And that guy gonna lay there because if you're gonna do everything, why do I have to do anything?
Because you're
You're not
supposed to be
forcing
a
me
man.
to do.
And then the
Because
father,
you're
But why?
supposed to be a man. You're
Why
supposed
would
to
I
make
have
a
to
decision.
prove? Why would I have to prove to be a man when you doing all it? When you doing it for me?
right.
You're not
But why
saying
would you choose
anything.
that though? Like, that don't make you feel a certain type of way?
Listen, it will make me feel some type of way, but I can't speak for every guy out there because it's so many people that just lay there or sit there and watch their woman do everything while they do nothing.
Yeah.
And a woman goes, "Oh well, I love him," or they try to. I mean, they lie to themselves and say, "Well, he does this or he does the minuscule things." But it's just like, okay, all right. So if you was to work and I was to stay home, if that makes everything easier, then fine, let's do it. But as I'm home, I can pick up a cooking skill. That's not hard. I can learn how to do little things around the house. There should be no reason why you go to work all day, come home, and then have to
They
either
got to take
cook,
care of the house,
clean.
right?
Yeah, it should be no reason for that.
But
I
see,
have to
that
pick
all
up
pans
certain
into
things.
it goes straight into the other topic. See, that's why I chose these two topics to talk about, because one leads into the other, one washes the other, because that's the downfall of Black economics right there.
Not so much.
It is.
It's not. It's
Because
not the downfall. It contributes to the downfall.
it's the
It definitely
downfall.
contributes.
And no,
Economically,
mindset is the downfall of our people. It's the
it's not
mindset.
just, but it's not
No,
just
no, when we don't
mindset.
have
It's
certain
the
things in
environment.
our neighborhood.
We
And all
still
we
have
to
people
look
that's
at-
walking around in a slave state that don't understand they're in a slave state, and then they spoiled on
But
some
it's the
No, you can't
environment.
misprogramming.
convince a slave.
Donna, if I
You
can
can't
explain,
convince a slave that they slave, just like you can't convince a mental ill person that they're sick in the head.
Yolanda,
It's the
how many
same thing.
people that's living right now that you know went through slavery? How many?
I seen the
nobody
shirt
that's
yesterday.
living now
But no,
necessarily.
it's a point to that. How many? But you still have people that got that same mindset. Like if they come out of that
We are
mindset,
in slavery, Donna.
But you
Yolanda,
have,
I'm saying enslaved in somebody outside of Amazon plantation. I'm saying old slave days with them kidnapping you, putting you on some plantation and not paying you anything. I'm talking about that slave day. I'm not talking about the modern day slavery. But if we still have that same mindset, because how many black men you know walk around talking about the white man helped me back? It ain't even went out and filled out the application, but the white man holding them back.
Well, Donna, the thing
that's not
is like
necessarily
I said,
always
it's the
true.
same thing when it comes down to Black economics. They took the work out of the household. They took the worker out of the household. They took the worker out of the neighborhood, and they put in the Department of Social Services, and then they put in child support and all these other things to keep the black man under the foot of the economic system.
So maybe if some, because we're not talking about all, so maybe if some of these black men go out there and get a job and take care of their kids, they ain't got to worry about child support. They ain't got to worry about their baby mother putting no more getting no social
I'm trying to
service.
tell you that if y'all just give me 1 second, it's really the environment that created the condition. The reason why I'm saying that is because, all right, so you had these single parent households that many times, again, it's not easy to come across affordable housing. And many times, part of the stipulation is having a lower income to be able to get access to, affordable housing, whether it be public housing, so that you could at least rear your children economically, without the father in many cases. And many of these households struggle to do that. We see that all the time when, we as a nonprofit go out into the housing projects and go work in the community. We see it how many of these families are economically challenged, and if it wasn't for the fact of public housing and the fact that they have an affordable housing option, they would be out in the streets with their children. In many cases, they created this safety net, this net that we needed to rely on the system to be able to take care of our single parent households. Unfortunately, while in many cases enforcement was little to none when it came down to apprehension of child support. Only within the last 20 years, we've come up with these new mechanisms. Shut down your driver's license. You can't get a child support. If you're under child support, you can't even get a passport to leave the country. I can get a passport.
But that's a certain amount, though. That's if
No, you get put on what's called the National Child Support Registry. There is a such thing. It's called the National Child Support Registry.
He know because he was on it.
and I damn sure
But
was.
how back
I'm
behind
a
were you in
former
child
member.
support? They don't do that immediately. That's only if you're not in it. That's only if you're not.
No.
Jason, when did they start that?
So it's anytime that you go to court to prove paternity, and paternity is established by the court, from that time on, you are a part of that system. You are a part of that system.
So you're telling me, you are telling me,
or in some cases up to 26, if that child decides to go to college, you may still be responsible for paying child support all the way to the
you might have to do some research on that because I don't know nothing about that. I know plenty of people on child support.
For the National Child Support Registry, and when anytime you are forced to pay child support, you get on that registry.
Okay, so you do have certain situations where, as though, you have bitter females who just deliberately put the child's father on child support because they're bitter and they cannot
They use it
be
as a
with the
retaliatory
man.
tool.
Right.
Exactly.
But that father
Exactly.
now becomes a non-custodial parent documented by the state. Even in some cases, a tribunal. I was in a tribunal because originally my baby mama owed, child support going back to Alaska, up there in Anchorage, Alaska, and she moved to Arizona, and so I ended up with 3 states in the courtroom: Maryland, Arizona, and Alaska, all asking, who to establish paternity to, because we have this bill waiting for that person. We have this bill right here waiting for that person, and they go back arrears. Sometimes 8-10 years they tried to hit me for in reference to arrearances. And I didn't. First of all, I didn't know nothing about the child. So, but when the child was finally established to me, it was almost 12 years, 13 years of child support owed, because at the time, the mother had to rely on the social service system, whether it was food stamps, whether it was housing vouchers, or whatever have you, to be able to sustain and take care of that household until I was established that I was the father and was told that I was the father. And the only reason why I knew was because she had to tell them, or else she would not be no longer in compliance with social service and would get cut off. And that happens all the time.
Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Okay, so it says if you're behind at $2,500 arrears that you cannot get a passport.
I was
I
never behind, I'm telling you. And
It
it's
said,
called,
but you had to been if you had to establish, like if the child support case was already established and it went on to
first of
you.
all, it came directly out my payroll. Directly out my payroll. I was never behind. It came directly out
It
my
say
payroll.
for passport denial, if the obliger owes
Oh,
2,500 or more.
denial. I'm telling you that because you are on what's called the National Child Support Registry, everything gets flagged. So when you go to put in for a passport, guess what? Your passport is checked and validated to see whether or not you get it, because you are on
If you owe money though, Jason, if you in
taxes. It automatically shows up on your taxes. You get automatically flagged on your taxes. There's
that's
a
because you have arrears and they put an intercept order on you. Like they
I
don't
had no
collect. Listen,
rent.
Jason, one
No
thing for sure,
rent.
2 things I know about taxes, they do not collect taxes unless that's arrear money.
Oh, no,
That's
it wasn't.
arrear
It
money.
wasn't taxes. No, it's just listed on your when you go to run your credit report and go to run your stuff. Your shit is listed that you are on this what's it called, the National Child Support Registry. I'm telling you, and all fathers that pay into child support get put on that National Child Support Registry. It flags you at DMV. It flags you anywhere that you are connected. Your social security number. You are connected and tagged by that
You
national.
connected in tag, but they don't do nothing unless you behind. They don't touch
It
it unless
doesn't
you're
matter. It
behind.
should
Oh,
not.
it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't
You on
matter. It
that
should not
registry.
be.
You are part of the system. That's what I'm
Well,
trying to
stop
Should
tell
having
you.
not
babies
be.
that you can't afford to pay for. That's all I can say.
Well,
It's
Doc,
not
we
even
all
that.
had
It's not
children we
even
can't
having
afford to
babies
pay
that you
for.
can't afford to pay for. It's just more so
We
the
all
simple
had
fact that,
children
Stop
and
dealing with bitter baby
grandchildren.
mamas.
I mean, you don't know
Doc,
a
we
person
all
is
have
bitter
You
children
until
don't
that
the
we
know
could
end.
that
never afford to
necessarily.
pay for.
You know when people bitter when you dealing with baby mothers that go through the same thing with different baby daddies. Like, come on.
Suppose she's the first one.
Well, hold up,
We're
because
accountable for our stuff.
guess what? I know a particular situation where the baby mother didn't act like that at all toward anybody. And then once the man said, "Well, you know what? I just rather not deal with certain like particular type of things," and he decided to
Behaviors.
make the better position. I mean, take the better position in his life and say, "Okay, I'll walk away from it." That's when
Name
they started
somebody you
acting
know that's
stupid.
not a bitter baby
You
mother that I
automatically
know.
assume we knew the woman was
Huh?
crazy from the beginning.
Name a non-bitter baby mother that you know that I know.
I can name a few. I ain't gonna do it
Well,
right here. I'll
uh,
text it to you.
text it.
I'll
Because I'm gonna
text it
tell
to
you
you.
some truth. Because listen, just because you don't see bitterness in some people, don't mean that other people don't see bitterness in them.
Do anybody see Deja hand raised who don't have a
No,
chat?
Deja, why you raising your hand?
All right. So this is what I looked up. I looked at. See, that's what I'm saying. The economic downfall has everything to do with black family. Because you ever heard of the Monahan report? The Monahan report says the Negro family, the case of national action. Then it goes down to say national action, commonly known as the Monahan report, was a 1965 report on black poverty in the United States written by Daniel Patrick Monahan, an American scholar served as assistant secretary of labor under President Lyndon B. Johnson, later became a U.S. Senator. Monahan argued that the rise in the black single mother families was caused by lack of jobs, but the destructive vein in the ghetto culture, which is traced back to slavery times and continued discrimination in American South under Jim Crow. Black sociologist E. Franklin Frazier had introduced the idea in 1930, but Monahan was considered one of the first economics to defy controversial social science wisdom about the structure of poverty. He wrote, the work began in most orthodox setting, the U.S. Department of Labor, to establish some level of statistical consciousness that what everyone knew. The economic conditions determined social conditions, whereupon it turned out that everyone knew was evidently so. The report concluded that the high rate of families headed to single mothers would greatly hinder progress blacks towards economic and political equality. The Monahan report was criticized by liberals at the time of publication, and its conclusions remain controversial.
Mm-hmm.
So that just goes to show you right there that it was all set up by design. And he was the one that said, again, the demise of the economics in black neighborhoods and single mothers came from the Department of Social Services and everything that was to destroy the black household.
That's why they built. That's why they built projects. That's why they built low income housing. That's why they built a whole lot of these programs.
Low income housing. There's a misstatement, because low income housing originally started off for white folks. It wasn't until the 1950s there was the Fair Housing Act that came out that actually started allowing black folks to even live in the housing projects. And after that, many folks talk about the history.
Right, because a lot of them projects was built for them white folk too, Deron.
Yeah, they were.
But and a lot of them left out. A lot of them left out of places like.
But they put the black people in there for a reason. It was for economic and social control. They did it on purpose.
Yeah, because if you're in if you're in a housing project, you can't get a job. I mean, you can, but you're going to be paying top dollar rent.
Right, you have to stay. Right, you have
to move.
Stay
you don't stay there. You move like you didn't advance past. Like if you can afford outside of, that's somebody that can't afford to go there.
No. People jump out here and cannot pay their own rent. People are out here now who cannot.
So that means you stay. That means you stay in housing and projects and on Section 8 for the rest of your life to cover you.
Well, Donna, if that's what it takes, then that's what they have to
That's
do.
not what it takes. What it takes is us to get out there and make things happen. And like that's why we're stuck there.
Minimum wage. So we get paid minimum wage. And
where you get paid minimum wage at now? I mean, like Yolanda, you're literally able to go out here and like you have these able-bodied people in these houses that won't go out here to work. They won't. They won't go out here to work.
Once you go out there and see, this is the thing. I know about subsidizing Section 8 housing because this is all that I fight for. When they go out there and they go get a job, then their rent increase, their social services decrease, their baby.
And then you're part of the real life. You're part of the real world.
It doesn't matter, Donna, with the economy unstable the way that it is, and everything is going up, except for people's paycheck. They cannot afford to jump off of their tomorrow.
But everybody don't get that opportunity because guess what? I was denied, so I couldn't get no help from nobody, nowhere, nobody. So guess what I had to do? I had to go out there and work regardless if it hurt or not. Right. But Yolanda, everybody that's able-bodied have that opportunity.
But everybody.
You don't have to stay where you at. You don't have to.
But you had a whole different mentality than others.
That's why I said mindset.
Yeah,
I knew I was better than what they was giving me. I knew I was better. I knew my kids was better than their education. So I shot out of there because guess what? I grew up in it and I knew if I stayed there, I knew what was going to happen.
But I knew struggling in it.
Now look at what Jason said.
Not everybody has that mentality though.
But look at what Jason said when he talked about what did you say? About the environment that you're in. Now, when you're sitting there and you have no responsibility at all except to take care of particular children, but you put the man out the household in order to gain these different assistance programs. You get what I'm saying? Like
housing, food stamps.
Yeah, so now you get to pick and choose who you want to deal with.
Yeah, it's a
Now
choice
the
though.
person,
The
now the
choice
person
was
that you
the first bad decision was you put somebody out to do what?
to take advantage of systems.
To take it right. So that's the first choice. So when you know you're
Right.
dealing with somebody else, you cut them off too.
Right, but people not gonna do that
Donna,
because
you act
Why
now
like
not?
it's
because
you
of the
act like it's
mindset
just
that I'm a
that
strong
that
person.
Exactly. I said mindset. I said it start with the
Yeah,
mind. We still going back to it.
right. Listen, I never disagreed as far as mindset. I never disagreed. But what I'm
Listen,
saying is that goes back to the original question: is being too strong a good or a bad thing? It's a bad thing
But
because you sit
again,
there.
it's only strong, and this is no disrespect, Donna. It's only strong because for the longest, y'all have had to carry the weight of the family generationally, not just this
And
generation,
y'all put up
back
this wall that we just can't
generations.
break through. So whether a good man comes in or not, you don't know because we're
You're
constantly
not given the
pickaxing at this
opportunity
wall that you
sometimes.
keep putting more bricks on. So we can't get through to each other.
well, Devon, we apologize. We ain't know no better. Like we only showed y'all what we knew. We apologize. So now it's time to fix it because we cannot continue to go
yeah,
on
but
the
we also
programming because
cannot
what's
tell
going to
people.
happen if we continue? It's going to continue through our grandkids and their kids. I'm not willing to see another one of our generations go through that mess. I'm not.
Yeah, but I'm also not willing to push people out there talking about well, go get a job and see it's different when we have people, and you know this, Donna. We have people every day that call us about evictions. Why do they call us about evictions? Because one, they're not on any type of housing assistance, and two, they might go to you, get their taxes done, go get a house or an apartment,
Something they
and next
can't
thing you
afford
know,
because it's programming.
Or a car,
right? But
or a
Donna,
used car, because they think
it's
it'll give
no
them
affordable
better
housing
options
outside
for
of it.
work.
You know that you talk about the same ones living in these projects that got $10,000 surgeries. They got that baby daddies on child support. They got all this stimulus money, and you talking about they deserve to be in that
Oh,
because
they the
they
ones
make
gonna
it
know. They the ones
afford to
ready to
pay
go to
that rent.
jail.
They could have bought a house with all this money they spent on surgeries.
Well, they the
I'm
ones
not.
ready to
I'm
go to
not
jail.
covering for
I'm not.
none of them. We were wrong. They wrong. We got to change this mindset. We got to.
Donna, you can say about a mindset all day long, but it's also their safety net. And those ones that thought it was a good idea to go out there and scam the
Why
federal
would you
government.
use the government
Don't cut me
as
off,
your permanent safety net?
Donna,
But that's
because you
the
can't use.
environment that they
Wait a
created
minute,
in
whoa,
order
I'm
to
gonna
get
answer that for you
access to
because
affordable
we don't
housing.
have a permanent husband or a permanent family that
So
can
get your permanent
sustain
ass
us.
out there and get a job.
A job ain't gonna cut it.
Listen, these days people say, I don't want to work here. I don't want to work there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But they will sit back and take a once a month check that's literally not even a quarter of what you can make out there working. Like we got to teach skills. We got to teach them. Like you got most of these people that's living in these projects in Section 8 that's making $700 and $800 doing wigs. Wigs.
Yeah,
Right.
but Don, that wig game ain't gonna last forever.
You know, I don't care why you got it going. Let somebody else that need it take
Right,
over.
and then they jump out there, and next thing you know, them and their families is
You
homeless.
jump out
Now
there to get
nobody's
responsible and
buying
take care of
wigs.
yourself and your kids. You cannot depend on these government. Suppose one day they say that's it. That is it. We're not doing anything else. You got to pay your own way.
Many times there are those discussions. You get,
That's
like,
what I'm
for
saying.
instance,
So if we're looking at
a
that, we have to
Republican.
teach our generations better. Like we have to teach them things because there's a lot of things that we could do to make some type of money. We just choose not to.
Well,
We
sometimes
also
you get things like that happen. Like you get, for instance, a Republican to come into the presidency or a Democrat. Actually, Bill Clinton was responsible for the Welfare Reform Act that actually, told women that if they wanted to continue to receive Social service, they would be limited to 4 years.
Democrat.
Right. And that was it. Right. That was a Democrat that did that. But then you also had Republicans as well that came in and looked at dismantling things like the Section 8 program, dismantling the funding that goes into affordable housing options like HUD and dealing with these housing projects, making sure that they're safe. So unfortunately, it's the environment. That's what I keep saying. The government has created the social system that we see today in urban America. We are not responsible for the development of our communities. The impoverishment and the things that you see, even down to the drugs. We know that Oliver North, you go back to the whole Oliver North and the Contras and selling guns for cocaine, and Ricky Ross, the real Ricky Ross, not the fake rapper Ricky Ross, that went around and distributed cocaine, millions and millions of kilos of
under the government's eye.
under the government's eye. So all of this is environmental and contrived to continue to destroy us. We came out of enslavement to Jim Crow and sharecropping, to the civil rights and being, killed in many cases, just trying to get people to register the vote, and vote good people into office that are going to triumph civil rights as opposed to hate and bigotry and white supremacy and all that shit that was going on at the South. People have lost their lives. Matter of fact, we just lost a basketball great who, back in the 1950s, went down to Mississippi to protest during the time of desegregation of the schools, to protest an all segregated white basketball team at a high school, and how they were self-segregating and keeping black players out of schools back then, in the school programs, school sports programs. And we just lost a great today, and so it's that deep. It's unfortunately this contrived environment that the government has created for mainly almost every urban American city or past industrial American urban city. You see a broken foundation between the black family. You don't see it in the Korean communities that come and establish near these black communities, near these urban communities, and set up their shops. You don't see it with the Hispanic community, although they have their own issues. You don't see it, in the Native American.
And it's a domino effect. If I say, all right, so it's a domino effect. You watch your parent go through and try to conquer everything on your own. So that teaches, hey, listen, I'm gonna do the same thing that I seen my mother did.
Yeah, right? And that wasn't right. We apologize.
Yeah, as far as how women go, I'm gonna do the same thing I see my mother do, right? And then you have these women who now, even if the guy's a good guy or whatever the case may be, they'll turn that down because he don't come with particular benefits, or he don't come with particular toxic abilities. Like, so therefore, now we have the man who actually wants to be a man, who actually wants to be that provider and that protector. We have him just scattered around, and we have more men that go, oh, well, if you're going to do it, I'll let you do it, because they've been pacified so much. And now they're being pacified, and now they're being pacified by the strong black woman.
But Deron, I think what people get, they get confused, because just because you're over 21 don't make you a woman. Clearly, we got some grown girls out here. It's a complete difference. So these grown girls out here, they're not going, just like these grown boys. So you cannot connect yourself, no matter how it looks, because you're physically attracted to somebody, because you like the way they treat you, because sometimes, or you got to look at the whole package. And if they're not deserving of you, don't settle.
Right, and that's what I was just about to say. Now women, these strong women, give themselves to these weaker men, because these weaker men are going to challenge. These strong girls going to get that stuff to these weaker boys, because these weaker boys aren't going to challenge them.
Right.
A man is going to actually challenge you. He's going to actually challenge you to be better and want the same in return. But you're not.
So you got to choose better, though, Devon. That's the thing. It's like,
right, but you're still constantly learning from the person that taught you, because that person still don't know no better. Just because.
Yeah, but we didn't always told you. We apologize. We taught y'all some bad.
I'm just saying.
Like, you want to apologize one more time.
I said I was in bushes.
I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
I just listen.
You accepted this time, Deron, because we messed up. Like, we just, you know, with parenting, you only got what you got. Like, we had our experiences with our mother. We felt like as long as we did better, then we're doing good. No, we never strived to be the best.
But
we strive to be better than.
Who dominated your household? Your mother. And then who dominated her household?
Speaking of parenting, right? So, okay, this goes far as I hate to get off the subject just a tiny bit, but this goes as far as saying, okay, you raise all your children in the same household, but yet you have the one very disrespectful one, should the parent be blamed for that?
Wait a minute. Say it again. You lost me.
So you raised all your children in the same household, and you have the one very disrespectful one, but everyone was raised the same, right?
Mhm.
Should the parent be blamed for that, or should the parent blame themselves for that?
I blame your mother.
Yeah, it's the parent fault.
I blame your mother.
Parent fault.
I
I'm
blame
not gonna say it's not the parent fault, but why does the parent get blamed for it?
It's
Because the parent is
because it's a
normally the one that let things slide.
No, that has nothing.
Yes, you did, Yolanda.
You have individual
First of all, why
choice.
are you saying the thing that she's talking about me?
Because I'm getting on a personal level because we already know.
Right, Deron, what did you do?
It's not only mommy's situation. I know a couple situations like this.
No, I ain't just listen. I'm making it personal because she on this line. That's why I'm
we're
making
not
it
gonna
personal.
make this personal.
Why we
Yeah,
not? We
I
be
feel
personal
like
the whole time.
But
I'm about to say,
Deron, you been disrespectful?
hold
I
on.
didn't do
Listen to
nothing,
this
brother.
as well. Listen to this as well. But because the child is grown, should the sibling step in or no?
Yes.
The sibling only steps in when the
Siblings should
parent
step
has
in, period.
no.
When you
Listen,
got
the
anybody
sibling
grown
steps.
disrespecting your mother, the child steps in.
Yeah, the
And if
child
that's your
steps in.
sibling, you step
But
in even
if
further.
if the sibling
Yeah.
steps in and then said mother keeps allowing the same activity, when does that sibling say,
If
"Yo,
the
listen"?
parent
When
allow
the
it or
said
not,
sibling is being disrespectful, get tired of getting his A beat. That's
You
how that
wonder
Then
goes.
what
then
Deron did.
said sibling
That
had
was
to be removed from
disrespectful.
household because if you don't like certain things in your household, then you remove that thing from your household.
Yeah, that thing need to be removed. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, so we're not talking about Deron.
Why are we talking about me?
Deja,
Because
what you
you're so
do?
disrespectful.
What?
Deja, what?
That's like, but
No.
listen, that's just like with me, and not to get off the subject. That's just like with me. I know my son, and I know the reason why he's the way he is. It's because of me. I can't blame nobody else for that.
But would you allow him to
Nobody.
disrespect you?
That is all me.
Would you allow him to disrespect you though?
No,
When we
he'll
talk
disrespect
about-
me. No. We're not doing that. No, I don't do disrespect. You know that's wrong. I'm saying the attitude, the mouth, and like he's more like me than I want him to be. The broken part of me.
Okay,
Which is
so basically you blame the parent because the siblings don't step in and nobody else steps in, so the parent is left holding the bag.
no.
No,
The
when the
parent,
parent
to
don't
that
want nobody to
neighborhood.
discipline
Now,
the
what happened to that
siblings.
village? What happened to that village it takes to raise a child?
the
And
village
just
is
because
already
the
set in
child,
place.
it
But
doesn't matter.
once
Guess
that
what, Deron?
child
Nobody
once
is
that
ever.
child
Nobody
says,
is ever.
"I don't want to be a part of this village anymore," then that village had to let that child go.
Deron,
Once that child starts showing signs of "you're nothing like this village,"
Hello,
child
Heidi.
has to
I'm sorry.
go.
Who's Heidi? Hello, Heidi.
Hello, Heidi.
Yeah,
Deron, the
but
point
you
is,
see it all the time. You see it all the time in white families. You know, the child will be disrespectful in the supermarket. You'll have the child disrespecting the moms even as an adult. And in some cases, the mother is supporting the child, but yet you see him being disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
to the mother and
Because
belittling.
it's a constant pacifying phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep,
That's
there are kids out here that parents allow them to talk nasty to them, and I ain't one of them, Miss Heidi. Yep, it is a lot of them.
I'm about to say, like, once a child becomes a certain age, at some point in time, you have to say, "I'm not willing to deal with this, whether I love you or not. I love you enough to let you go and make your own decisions."
well,
Certain things, I mean,
See, I had to kick my 21-year-old out. He would not help me.
But see,
When a person is
she's
not
lucky she did
beneficial,
that.
yeah,
She's lucky
when
she did
you
that
are
because
not
my mom's. That
beneficial
was
to
what
my
my mom
life,
was afraid
you
of.
have to go.
Man.
I mean,
That's
I
what my
feel it
mom's.
both ways. Like I feel it both ways. Like we don't want to see our kids out in the street, but sometimes if you can't respect the whole house, like you got to respect when you are living as a family. Everybody gets respect. Everybody.
Right.
When you got
Right.
one or two that's out of line, them one or two got to learn on their own.
Wait, what
Exactly.
did she just say? Wait, what did she just say? I missed it.
She said she's white and she did not allow it to
Right,
happen.
she didn't
I
allow
know that's
that.
right, Miss Heidi. You need to give us some lessons because we don't know how to put our kids out.
Right. But I see it all the time. You see it in the supermarket. You see it out and about. You know.
She said I asked him to help me out with bills. And for some reason, Miss Heidi, I don't know why they seem to think that helping somebody else pay bills is more valuable than them helping you pay bills. Yeah, the water, electricity. But if they was out there on their own, guess what? They still have to pay bills.
Right.
So why not stay in the same house and keep all that?
If you're not being respected, they don't
I'm
belong
about to
there.
say, if that house is not being respected,
I'm
then
not
they have
talking
to
about
go.
that, Donna. That's not what the part I'm speaking on. If you have a functioning household where people are working, then everybody should be contributing.
Absolutely.
And just because how is it not your own when you have your own room? Because when you move into somebody else's, it's their house. You just have rooms.
Yolanda, what did Lane tell us? You pay where you lay. That's what she told us. No matter where it's at, you pay where you lay.
Yeah,
no matter where you lay your head. And like, I be darned, and that's what I'm saying about these men.
Mama,
like,
did you see what Miss Heidi just said?
Yes.
Jason, put up the other part. He said to me, I am into him. Wow. And she said it killed me. Yes, those things do hurt, but you have to understand that when you set your foot down and the child feel like, they're gonna say anything to hurt your feelings. She live on Section 8 and had told me.
Okay, all right, so how can a child be disrespectful to you when they not doing nothing but laying up?
It's allowed.
It's not allowed, Donna. It has nothing to do with being allowed.
What should not be his mouth? The child mouth should be closed at all times because one, you're not contributing to nothing. You're not doing anything.
I'm about to say, listen.
You're not even picking up a broom or a mop to clean up.
Yeah, some things are not just financial. You're
not doing nothing.
Some type of
way.
Some type
of
way.
Like even trash.
Shut up.
Cleaning up there. Yeah, you shouldn't have to worry about things like that
At
when
this
everybody.
point, you're not even an adult.
Right, true. That's a grown kid.
God bless my mom's soul. My mom's was afraid of that I was going to be basically one of them children that would be, 30 years old, up underneath my mom's, not willing to support her, living off of her in many cases, and she's struggling.
And that was trauma for you because now you out here working like a whole Jamaican.
You said Jamaican, okay?
Why you say Jamaican?
Wait a minute, let's give Miss Heidi some attention. Miss Heidi, the whole point of an argument is for someone to hurt your feelings. It just so happened at the time to be your son. You have to take that with a grain of salt. I can't allow them to do that. He said, I have to choose my young kid's father, but he helps me pay bills. You absolutely right. But see, the thing is that if it's a father in a household and he's helping you taking care of the bills, then it's your son, the one who have the problem. It's not you. It's not the father. It's him. Because
God bless you, Miss Heidi. You did the best. In his mouth, he'll learn. He'll definitely learn.
Wait a minute. First of all, you have to make choices for you, not for your children. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that have to live with it. So if you choose it, then that's what you live with.
But I'm saying that some parents do that, especially an aging parent may be willing to put up with a certain amount of abuse because there are those little tidbits of help and support. Maybe help her to get back and forth to the market. He don't like to do it. He don't like to take her around, but he takes her around to the market and takes her to their doctor's appointments. You know what I mean?
Time, Jason.
But she allows him again to abuse him, out of the fact that she doesn't want to, be by herself in some cases, and doesn't want to be necessarily.
Miss Heidi, I got one advice for you. Before you choose your kids, before you choose a man, you choose you first. You choose you first. And once you choose you and love you first, everything else will fall in place. He was not his father was gone. Sorry for that, but he should not do or say anything. You're absolutely right. But choose you first, Miss Heidi.
Yes, Miss Heidi. If you need some help, I'm a life coach, so you can reach out to us anytime.
Donna, leave me your phone number.
My phone number, Miss Heidi. Jason, could you put it in there? Would you be able to put it in there in the chat?
Yeah, I could put it in the chat.
Miss Heidi,
Okay.
if you can hear us, do you have a pen or piece of paper to write down Donna's number? We have approximately 2 minutes before we have to get off. You can just respond yes or no. Oh,
It's okay because that makes you. She said yes. It's okay, Miss Heidi, because everything that we go through, no matter if we don't see the reason behind it, it's a lesson and it's a blessing. So a lot of times we don't want to see our kids out there because we get worried, especially when they're disrespectful to us. We be kind of worried that they might be out there disrespectful to somebody else, and ain't nobody gonna take that. So I look forward to talking to you, Miss Heidi.
I'm just glad that you had the ability
Jason,
to
did you put
stand
the
up.
number in there?
I'm giving her the number directly.
So we have about what 3 minutes.
No, we have 1 minute. We
One. Oh.
6:57. DG, your closing remarks.
This was an amazing and interesting topic for today for tonight, and I enjoyed it. But I feel as though as Black families or as families, period, that we should often have family meetings and let each other know what's wrong and what's not wrong. I feel as though we should be able to talk without any controversy or without any arguments, get our points across without anyone getting upset or in their feelings, because we always put our emotions first.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as though like that could resolve a lot of issues within the home.
I agree.
The home
And Duran
inside, the home in the
apologized
house.
for whatever you did.
Right. I don't think people understand. Home is not where you lay your head. Home is where the heart is. So when we say that, I don't want people to get it construed that they have to be in the house in order to have these meetings or set an agenda for it. No, it's your family. That's your top tier. Donna.
I just want to say I definitely want to continue the conversation even more as far as inside family traumas. I definitely want to touch on that. So I look forward to a show like that.
Mm-hmm.
You pacify people, you can't complain when they act like a baby.
Boom. Mic drop.
Jason, where's the number?
I sent the number to her. I don't know necessarily to put it on.
We ain't do no housekeeping or nothing. We just kept it moving, y'all.
Well, again, I
Thank you,
didn't put
Daddy.
the number out there publicly like that, so I shared it with her through Messenger. So.
Well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do house cleaning right now. We want to thank Donnie Gilliver for always, seeing our vision and having us on his network and all the ones that's affiliated for him. We need Westmore for governor. So, matter of fact, when we go to the polls, we need every Black person, anybody. We need any and everybody, Lottie Dottie and everybody, to vote Westmore for governor.
Well, let's have a morning see.
We want. This is the end result, Don. You cannot say anything. I gave you.
Let's have a morning see if we want to vote for him.
We can't.
Why not?
Donna.
I want to talk to him.
Anywho,
I
want to thank Jason and Donna and Deja and Deron for always being amazing co-hosts. We are people empowered by the struggle. Anything that you have, you can't help or you need help navigating through, you can always reach us at 443-355-8014. We are a certified 501c3. We're recognized through the state of Maryland, so we are a legitimate 501c3. Jason, you want to say something? It's 6:59.
No, I just the I guess just don't let 500 years of America's, destruction of the Black family continue to be our future. We can do better. We are a mighty race. We are a mighty people, and I know for a fact that we can do better in reference to our households.
And that does not exclude any other race. It's just our pain and our struggle, but we're always willing to help everybody else. Until the
It's
next
in the
time.
pain and in the struggle.
Yeah, until the next time, we love you, but God loves you more. Peace and blessings.
Good night.
And Duran, apologize to your mama.
I'm going to get him.